Oh, there you are. Good morning. Welcome to another Monday. Today's message is called All Eyes on Me. Now, I have loads of role models. Steve Jobs, Nelson Mandela, Woody Allen, Oprah, Christopher Nolan, Komla Dumo. Their stories inspire me, whether it's their triumph over adversity or how they saw opportunities where others didn't. These individuals have set stunning examples with their lives, and I always feel that the more I stay connected to them and their stories, the more I can understand the secrets to their success. So I read about them, I watch documentaries, I experience their work, and I try to apply their philosophies to my own life. Now, I'm sure you also have your role models. You must enjoy watching and listening to them, reading about them, and wishing you could meet them, right? And whenever you're in a tight spot and can't figure out what to do, I bet you ask yourself, what would my role model do? I bet they would know exactly how to solve this problem. Yes, we clothe our role models with great power. To us, they are superhumans who can do no wrong. That's the whole idea of a role model. They model the best of behavior and human qualities. Now, here's a thought. Whose role model are you? Who looks up to you? Who thinks you are superhuman? Nobody? Think again. The fact is that no matter who you are, no matter what you do, there is someone somewhere who admires you. It may be the security guard at work who thinks your dress sense is impeccable. It may be your young cousin in the village who thinks you are the smartest member of the family living the good life in the big city. It may be your children who are amazed at how you have an answer for every single question and can't believe how easily you reach for things from the top shelf in the cupboard. A feat they could never achieve in their wildest dreams. The point is, no matter who you are or what you do, chances are you are somebody's role model. But here's the other thing. Now that you know you're a role model, you can't take this job lightly. People are looking up to you. To them, you are a symbol of what they could become if they work hard, stay focused, and eat all their vegetables. We talked about how being a role model is about model behavior. Well, it is also a role which you can never stop playing. Steve Jobs, Nelson Mandela, Komla Dumo, they were all ordinary people who did extraordinary things. But in addition to the extraordinary things they did, they must also have done loads of ordinary things and made lots of ordinary mistakes. They must have left the toilet seat up sometimes. They must have picked their noses and passed wind in church a few times in their lives, but they never did these things in the public domain. I certainly never saw them do these things, and thank goodness for that, because if I had, it would have punctured the perfect image I have of them. I would have found it difficult to aspire to be like them if I discovered they were just like me. So, whoever you are, whatever you do, never forget that somebody somewhere is watching you playing the role of a model human being. You owe it to them to be the best possible version of yourself at all times. You cannot afford to puncture that perfect picture they have of you. You really can't, because you may well be the only reason why someone somewhere is working hard to better themselves. My name is Kojo Yankson, and I know I'm not perfect, but I also know you'd be disappointed if I didn't try to be. Good morning, Ghana.
Hello, good morning, and welcome to the AM News with me, Mapisa CBD. Now, in our first story, family of the slain EMT personnel who were shot by suspected armed robbers while on official duty is calling for expedited investigation into the incident that led to his death. Abraham Tete was attacked and shot more than 6 times by the robbers on the dawn of last Thursday while he was transporting a pregnant woman from the Akuse Government Hospital to the Eastern Regional Hospital in Koforidua. He was rushed to the Kolebu Teaching Hospital where he died on Saturday. But 4 days on, the police is yet to arrest anyone in connection to the incident. Joe Newsman Noah Kranting was at Tripoli to speak to his family, who want the perpetrators to be brought to book immediately.
Sorrowful scenes that welcomed us to the family house of late Sergeant Abraham Tete at Chopoli. Friends and sympathizers from far and near had come to commiserate with the grieving family. For many who had heard the news, it was the death of Abraham, the EMT personnel. But for the family, it is the loss of a pillar. He would never turn down a request for assistance from any family member. He really was our backbone. I am a man and I shouldn't be crying, but Abraham meant so much to me. It's only God who knows what happened. But Abraham's life's journey was not without a struggle. His 70-year-old mother, Awunye, tells me of how she sold her belongings and did all sorts of menial jobs to see her son through school.
I used to hawk biscuits with his grandmother at Accra, just to get something to take care of his educational expenses. He would even sometimes join us to pick firewood and sell, all just to put him through school.
AB, as he was affectionately called, was truly drawn to his family. His 90-year-old grandmother revealed how he transferred from the Tamale to Somanya station of the ambulance service just to be close enough to take care of her.
Tamale, first yata, no ani yata ne ke je bia meke, enajimi imbehiwa.
He was earlier stationed at Tamale, but applied to transfer to Somanya.
She dreads the reality that Abraham has taken an early flight to the way of all men.
Nkete dokita ni nye dani egbo e la ka ikete ni nye na egbo se ali finele.
While he was alive, there was hardly any dull moment around him.
He was a very humble man. He always creates some fun at our family gatherings because he could sing and dance very well.
For the support system that he was, Abraham's family will have nothing short of an expedited investigation leading to the arrest and prosecution of his killers.
The information we are gathering now indicate that the whole thing started somewhere 11 p.m. and Abraham was shot somewhere 2 something to 3. Even when, according to source, Abraham was second car, that means the armed robbers, and it took them about 2 hours to kill my cousin. We want the police administration to investigate it very wide. we are not taking anything out. Right from the working place to everywhere, they should at least evaluate it very well. And these perpetrators of this hero's crime should be brought to book.
For Emmanuel A. Tete, who is spokesperson for their family, they want government, and for that matter, the police service, to expedite investigations and bring the perpetrators to book. From the family house of Abraham Tete, the slain EMT official of the National Ambulance Service, here at Chopoli. My name is Manuel Kranting for Joy News.
Now, away from that, universities have started a new academic year, but many students have had to struggle not only with the compliance to COVID protocols, but also with online learning. Are students able to access Wi-Fi connections to enable effective learning? Judith Awashatanda reports from the University of Ghana that they are yet to cope with the new mode of learning.
COVID-19 has changed many things, from the wearing of nose masks, no handshakes and hugs, and basically an end to communal living and even the mode of teaching and learning.
We can't see the virus, we can't feel it, we can't touch it, but it's there. So you always, your life is now pinned to the nose mask.
Schools in Ghana, just like elsewhere, were used to face-to-face interactions prior to the pandemic. This has changed. Online learning comes with a cost. Costs of data, gadgets, and many others. In the University of Ghana, the school is running a full-blown academic semester online, which gives students no other option than to grapple with access to Wi-Fi connectivity. But is this really the situation?
At first, the online studies was a good thing. But when we get to school, we realize the Wi-Fi is not that much strong. Okay? So you'll be in class and the network will be up and down.
My affiliation was Legon Hall Annex A, and trust me, I'm seriously facing this Wi-Fi connection.
When we were coming to school, initially management told us that there will be strong Wi-Fi connection on campus, but when we came, there's nothing like that here.
A level 100 student who contacted me that his Wi-Fi connectivity is very poor, and for that matter, he has been buying data for a day 30 Ghana cedis.
Like now, I'm having a class. It's not so well for me. So we are finding it a little bit hard, but we are managing.
Bad internet on campus means extra costs to students.
Financially, you see, the parents in their house, maybe when you tell them, they will not really understand you. So you have to maybe use your own pocket money and those things to do it.
For a week, I can say I spend almost 200 cedis, yes, on data for a week.
I'm a student, and if let's say they give me 100 cedis or 200 cedis per month, and I'm to use 25 Ghana cedis every week for credits, that means I don't even get some for my own upkeep.
The students' leadership is worried. Kwame Ntofianko is president, leading the school student union.
We had a meeting last week. And in our meeting, we made them understand that before students had come to campus, they gave us the assurance that it would make the system perfect. But as it stands now, we've not seen, the Wi-Fi expansion come to fruition as we actually anticipated. But they should try as much as they can to ensure that they improve upon the Wi-Fi connection on campus. That is why we gave them a timeline between last week, Friday, and probably by the close of this week. So let's see how far that would go. But we would make sure that they will do as they have promised us.
In 2020, the school provided some data services for online learning while schools were shut down. As to whether this system will be reinstated remains unknown. Judith Awatritando for Joy News.
Now, the second Takoradi Chamber of Commerce and Industries will undertake comprehensive research to unravel the impact of COVID-19 on its members and the business environment in the region. The move is to help develop a good support scheme for members and also find an innovative solution to deal with such occurrences. Vincent Anan is the Chief Executive of the Second Takoradi Chamber of Commerce and Industries.
Honestly, most of our businesses have really suffered a lot, and the impact it keeps unveiling itself, especially when most of the enterprises in the Western region also work with the multinational companies, and they were hard hit. Most of them, because of the travel ban and all that, these multinationals were not coming and going, and so it virtually came to a close or a halt. Then the suppliers were also not working. The manufacturing, those into fabricating to support oil and gas and mining were not working. Those performing various services were all hugely affected. For COVID, especially with the travel and tours, the tourism sector, it's been massive, and we're undertaking a research to ascertain the impact, because we want to work with figures. So we are on the ground undertaking a research.
Are your members not getting the stimulus package soon?
The chamber itself supported 1,050 enterprises to apply for the stimulus package, and about 70% of those we supported have so far received payments. So for us, we think it's good, and that has also helped us, because we opened this support beyond our membership and called for SMEs, market women. And when they came, we realized we used it to track the challenges they have because there's a lot of questions and templates you must fill. And so we trained our staff to sift problems they have. And out of that, we've developed a service called the Business Clinic. So we've scheduled them and have been inviting them back to the office for us to take them through the problems we identified with their businesses.
Now, the Volta Regional Prisons Commander, DDP Andrews Kwesi, has made a passionate appeal to the citizenry to patronize the services of the prison facilities. This, he believes, would enable them generate some funds to support the running of the prisons, since monetary allocation by the government has been woefully inadequate. DDP Kwesi made the appeal at the 2020 end of the year party in Hove.
The Ghana Prison Service over the years had been lamenting the inadequate allowance provided by the government for the upkeep of inmates across the country. According to the authorities, the feeding grant of 1 cedi 80 pesos per inmate is woefully inadequate. In an attempt to salvage the situation, the prison facilities began engaging in economic activities to generate funds. However, patronage has been low. Speaking at the 2020 end of the year party, the Volta Regional Prisons Commander, DDP Andrews Kwesi, pleaded with the citizenry to patronize the services of the inmates.
I want to seize this opportunity to say that the prison service has high caliber human resource. We have carpenters, we have masons, we have tailors. In fact, sometimes I see some of our sister institutions officers, like fire, immigration and others, coming to sew their uniforms at our place. I want to use this opportunity to advertise our tailoring unit that, please, if you have uniform to be sold, our tailors are available. They can do it for you, especially with very moderate charges. So patronize our tailoring unit. I also want to say that we have a good building team. If you have a land you want to develop, our officers are ready. We have masons, we have architects, draftsmen who are hardworking. They will help you develop your land. So I appeal to our sister security institutions and individuals here that we are ready to execute such projects for you. So when you have land to be developed, don't hesitate to call a nurse. And then I will say that we have a block molding factory. So many people have said that they bought blocks at places, but the prison block is a special block.
And that's it for the AM News with me, Mapita CBD.
Hello, it's a Monday. Thank you very much for joining us right here on the News Review segment of the AM show. Mamavi, good morning.
Yeah, hi, good morning, Ben.
Here it is again, another morning. And I notice now your mask wearing style has changed. I think we just need to get you, is it the KN or NK95s and all the others, because this actually mimics.
Yeah, I'm trying to get the N95 effect. So there's a new way I learned. There's a video.
I've seen that video.
That has, so I'm trying to, because I realized that, okay, no space here, no space here. It kind of feels better. I'm trying.
You manage your surgical mask.
We're trying. We can only try and, and do our best, but, God is our ultimate savior.
Yeah.
So I do the little that I can do, knowing that God is watching over me and he's taking care of me.
It's like it's said, trust in God, but tie your camel.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean because God is on your side, you just play the fool with the virus. And over the weekend, a number of people we know, again, of course, we are not going to mention names, but more and more people we are hearing, and all those whispers, the allegations that it was on the back of COVID that they lost their lives. So, hey, don't take it for a joke. It is real.
It is, absolutely. Oh, well, at this time, it's only a fool who would think that it is not real.
Oh, believe you me, there still are people.
Okay.
No, I shared with you only a few weeks ago someone who said, a very well-educated person who was telling me, oh, wait, I mean, since it came, I've not been donning a mask. I've not caught anything. Yeah.
Okay.
And especially, again, in the rural areas where education may be limited. Even in the urban centers, people are talking about the lack of education on COVID and what to do and all of that. So just imagine in more deprived areas. And don't you see them, the students, when we interact with people from different parts of the country, some of the students, it's as though nothing were happening.
Well, the thing is that even if you think that nothing is happening,
can't you see?
What is happening to others should scare you enough to want to protect yourself.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just tell yourself, oh, as for media, I won't get it there. But still do the right thing.
Yeah.
Hearing all the story. Charlie, the things that we hear daily, it should scare you, honestly.
It's crazy because some of them are personal experiences that we can't share. Over the weekend, some of the things I came face to face with. And there was this video, though, that I saw, again, of a child. It broke my heart. I don't know how old that boy is, but you see the one in the school uniform and the mask and just clutching his tummy, above his belly, struggling to breathe. That is no joke at all.
Yeah. All right, as we get into the newspapers, and I'll start with the Daily Graphic. COVID-19 real, it's evil, dangerous virus, according to Palmer Bacco. And as he did this video on Saturday, we're going to play back that video to you where he's sending a message to all of us saying that COVID is real. Let's listen and watch. We'll come back and do the rest of the stories in the paper.
My dear ones, this is just a video shot from the recovery garden at the Ga East Infectious Disease Center, where I am undergoing treatment for COVID-19. I just thought sending this message out to those of you who are my loved ones, at least will let you know I've survived it for 5 days, and therefore I encourage anybody who is afflicted not to be afraid, because yes, COVID is real, but healing is equally real if we will do the best. My advice is what I call the 3 P's: prayer, protocols, and prayer. And you can add 2 more to it, and protocols and prayer, so it becomes 5. Let us continue praying, thanking God for the doctors, the nurses, the frontline workers, and the great...
That's the Metropolitan Archbishop of Cape Coast, Reverend Palmer Bacco, the Most Reverend Palmer Bacco, and he's recovering. We continue to pray for him, but Where he is the only infectious disease center that we have in Ghana. Ketsi, the private sector, it was a private sector initiative, but it was a private government initiative. We saw the soldiers put up that structure, and we're going to come to you again. You see the usefulness of this building? We will come to you again so that you can contribute to the one that we're putting up in Kumasi. There will be more that I'll be sharing on the show in regards to this one.
The importance of this, last Thursday, I was actually at that place. And getting in is something else altogether. I mean, because of the nature of what they do there. And interestingly, that was, I went in there before I saw, initially he didn't post the video. He posted, there was a bit of a script that was trending before the video also started trending. And I went by this place. So later when I saw it in the video, I was like, okay, it's realer than real.
It is. All right, self-medication adding to risk of COVID-19 morbidity. That's according to Dr. Oliver Comey. He's the acting director of this facility, the Infectious Disease Center. Dr. Joseph Ajete Oliver Comey has advised the public against self-medication and rather seek early medication to help avert the rise in the rate of fatalities from the COVID-19. President to join campaign to consume cocoa product. Respondents cancel grills, Metal Nono today. If you go to the center spread, work resumes on National Cathedral. Breach of COVID-19 protocols will sanction recalcitrant churches, according to the Christian Council. And Commander College of Education increases female admission. On the back page, dwarfs deepen allies' woes in Accra. Kotoko break Karella's home invisibility with 2-0 win. All right, that's it for the graphic.
Well, from the Daily Graphic, let's check out the Ghanaian Times newspaper. This morning, it says, illegal entry into Ghana. 51 foreigners deported after being intercepted at a Sikuma inland checkpoint in the Volta region. I'll be bringing you more on that story, but some Beninese and Togolese as well. A lot of them coming through Togo into Ghana, and they were, deported. West Blue gets 2 ISO certifications for quality business. Then this one, I guess it's a message we should all, be imparting. Don't panic, parents told. That's on the back of the COVID-19 outbreak in schools, but the numbers surging. And yesterday, a very interesting question posed on the probe. Do we have set targets, ceilings that we can say, okay, when it hits these numbers, look, then we have to shut down schools or something? It's a question I posed a few, days into last week to Maxwell Kodeko. So I think, again, it's something we should rethink so that when the numbers hit, you have over 70 in a school, I think some action ought to be taken, but there are experts on that. Election petitions against MPs in limbo. High Court's yet to fix dates for hearing. There's also this one when you go to page 3, that story we've been bringing you. Ambulance driver shot by robbers dies, and then 2 brothers in court for stealing taxi. This story is also making the rounds on page 4. Muntaka retracts, apologizes for bribery allegation against Supreme Court Justice. Listening to Newsfile over the weekend, I found that apology quite interesting. In the middle spread, there's election petitions. That's the story there. High Court's yet to fix dates for hearing. And then on the back page, dwarves worsen inter-allies plight. Kotoko shock Karela to go top. That is something that Mama V wouldn't focus on, but Fabia Kumasi Asante Kotoko.
I read it a while ago.
You just read the bit about the dwarves. I didn't hear you focus on the one mentioning that Kotoko is now top of the league with 23 points.
I can only share the headlines.
After 13 matches played. Let me check out. Where is Accra Hearts of Oak again? Okay, so in 11th position with 16 points, but they have a game in hand. Accra Hearts of Oak is in 11th position. Yes. Okay. So that's it with the Ghanaian Times by way of headline.
Let's do the final newspaper on the front page. Muntaka retracts, apologizes for bribery claim against Supreme Court. But some people have said, oh, it looks like the apology, well, the letter is really apologizing for making a general allegation, but not the specific. People are breaking down this apology letter. We'll see how far that goes, if there will be a response from the Judicial Service.
when you consider what Dr. Dominic Ayine said, it makes it even, I don't know, maybe less of an apology and more of something that he had to do to guarantee peace between two arms of government.
Supreme Court expunges 5 paragraphs of Metal Nunu's statement. Parliament tightens COVID-19 protocols. So this week, they're only sitting twice. Public, and they're not allowing visitors into Parliament. Public debts, Oforiatta, and the records in the midst of complex challenges. Christian Council urges member churches to enforce COVID-19 protocols. Eat cocoa product to boost immune system to fight COVID-19. That's a call by the Cocoa Board CEO. That's it for the Finder.
Let's check out the Daily Guide now. They said our babies died. And I know this is one you've been following, Mama V. That's on page 3. And the story says the mothers who fell victim to the baby harvesting scandal involving some health professionals, including at least 2 medical doctors, have been sharing their harrowing experiences of being told their babies died when indeed the tots were alive. The modus operandi of the unscrupulous medical professionals has always been to tell the mothers that their babies died during delivery, then they keep the babies to sell them later on. So I can't imagine the heartbreak parents would go through. And years back, I remember interacting with a gentleman, I'll just leave his name as John, who delivered twins at one of these hospitals. Again, for the sake of people's sensibilities, I'll not mention the hospital. He was told one of them had passed and, later supposedly was buried. Produce the body, let me know where you buried the child, and all of that till today. The medical council, wherever, he reported that to everybody possible. Till today, that child has not been found. And they suspect the child was given out because they were twins and there was absolutely nothing wrong with the other twin.
What was the punishment?
Till today, it's not been resolved. It's been a back and forth. In fact, my team at the time, we spearheaded that, we pushed for it, we put it on radio. It was all over the place. Yet till today, the bodies mandated to do something about it have not done anything about it. Roger faces grilling via video today, and if he completes his turn early, then we might as well see Jean Mensah. Osumanche passes on. Truck kills girl in kitchen, and Ghana launches National Chocolate Week. When you go to the middle spread, Bank of Ghana develops robust intraday emergency liquidity policies. Then there's this one, Arnold Baidu. I lied about Yvonne Okoro and Jocelyn Dumas. Big man fight. On the back page, Partey injured again. Looks like it's not turning out to be a party at all for Thomas Partey. He's injured again. That's on the back page of the Daily Guide. Shall we get there? Then Kotoko Stan Karela to go top, and Tracy lifts ladies challenger 2. So that's it with the Daily Guide newspaper this morning.
Let's get into the Daily Dispatch. NPP's gains in the north will be eroded if Bawumia is not 2024 flag bearer. That's Ben Efson doing some analysis on this. Really, dealing with COVID-19, Medical Association tells MPs to set good examples. That story is on page 11 in the Daily Dispatch newspaper today. And then see the 5 paragraphs struck out from Metal Nunu's statement. Paper is highlighting on that. Basically, that's it for the headlines on the front page of the Daily Dispatch newspaper.
All right, so let's check out the Republic Press. And it says Tema Police Commander will deal with land-related issues decisively. Hydrogen peroxide should be used with extreme caution. That's according to Dr. Janssen. Beaches not closed. Presidential orders flagrantly defied. But you remember during the festivities, some of the, I think it was Manuel Quarantine, at some of these beaches. And people were just going about their business as though it were situation normal, nothing were happening. So you ask yourself, Mrana, what exactly is happening? Check out this one. We are Chokikra with his friend, enjoying the coziness of the beach. Used drawers, underwear is cheaper. Traders insist. So this matter again, and especially in these times of COVID-19, I can't think far, but I guess some people would. But finally, I want to do this one. It's actually on the back page. I'll skip the middle spread. On the back page, Kwewu funerals go on unabated. Again, more and if we can just take a look at the back page, because you see what's happening here. If we can turn to the back page of the Republic Press, and it is just something else altogether. No, in fact, you look at most of the people and they are not in masks.
So
those who have masks on have them under their chins.
Is this funeral service or as in burial service, or this is...
It could be either,
as in
or both,
going to bury, or this is the after party. See, because burial service is not banned. You just have to do the right thing in terms
but obviously, if you look at
physical distancing,
if you look at the number of people here, first of all, the number, even with my eyes, this is more than
so you don't see
25, and you're looking at no social distancing and no adherence to the wearing of masks.
So let's get something a bit clearer. If it's a burial service, you're not limited to.
You're not limited. Yes.
You have to respect the social distancing protocols and wear your mask. It is what is banned is the after party, as in you could see na babetanasi. There's nothing like that. And then obviously when you're going to the cemetery, you don't have to be more than 25.
And you look at these people even around the hearse with the umbrellas and everything. I mean, unnecessary. Looking at, I think. Anyway, so that's it for the Republic Press.
Yeah, it's just disheartening. Like it's just.
I mean, do we have to be struck down before we realize how serious the thing is? Do you want to get there? You don't.
Yeah. So then again, when these things happen, okay, it's not the 1111 individuals. When it happens like this with the funeral, with the beaches, you ask yourself where the enforcers are. Where are
the enforcers are honestly very limited. I mean, you know, our police to civilian ratio, for example. Woefully inadequate. So for some of these things, as much as I understand, you can't have, you ought to take.
These are facilities. I mean, these are beaches, and you know when to get them. They are operating on weekends. You know that funerals will happen on weekends. Shall All right, I guess we're done. I've got the Economy Times. Budget deficit slows for first 11 months of 2020. Flourishing Ponzi schemes, intensive public education needed, and interest rates to remain unchanged. All of that's in the Economy Times.
I'll wrap up with the Ghanaian publisher. Armed thugs invade Adan to stop Songo salt project. That's one that has got me worried in recent times. Ministry of Health recruits doctors, dentists. Ghana marks Africa Safer Internet Day. And then there is the bit about Muntaka and his apology. Then Public Debt Management of Oriata has a superior record. So that's it. Maybe we can delve into a few of those stories. Mama?
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Otherwise, we'll bring in myjawline.com.
Right. So let me do the story on page 8, which actually delves into this matter again. It's actually on page 9 of the paper. Hydrogen peroxide should be used with extreme caution. And the Secretary of the Ghana Medical Association, Dr. Justice Youngson, has urged Ghanaians to be circumspect about the use of hydrogen peroxide as a COVID-19 prevention drug. According to him, there has not been any study conducted by the Food and Drugs Authority or any scientific body to suggest that hydrogen peroxide could be used as a measure to prevent COVID-19 contraction. He emphasized that COVID-19 is not part of the approved indications for the use of hydrogen peroxide. Ideally, it is meant to be used as an antiseptic and for oral hygiene. I bring this up once more because of that mad rush we've seen in recent times to get hydrogen peroxide. So just be cautious as you use it. Don't think that once I'm using it, I am not prone to contracting COVID-19. Don't make that mistake.
So just on the back of that, Newsfile had some other experts join the conversation from other countries. There was a particular doctor from the US who says, in fact, I think both specialists from the US said the same thing effectively, that it can be toxic to the cells in the nose, mouth, and gums. So whilst you rush for that, remember also, and I think there was a cancer-related something as well. Listen,
it's a good thing with bad sides. Just use it well so you don't have the
good luck
after
if you're
effects.
using it, because even though I shared the formula that was given by Professor Sego, I have one at home, but we use it for the dogs. I don't know.
What an analogy, though. All right, so just to plead my case,
yes, what
I've been using hydrogen peroxide, like I said. My family has used it for decades. Of course, we use it the right way. You see, the thing is, don't go overdoing the thing or thinking it is way, because it's an antiseptic. Imagine that.
We've got like 8 dogs, and sometimes when
you've got 8 dogs,
yes.
What are you doing with 8 dogs?
When some of the female dogs are on heat and they can't release it, then they tend to fight. Sometimes one will get really hurt, and it happened just over the weekend. When you use the hydrogen peroxide, you see that.
It gets white.
The color even changes, and I'm like, is that what it's doing in your mouth?
Of course, you are not swallowing it. You are not swallowing it.
So me, it's scary. When I saw it, my attention was just drawn to see the effects of hydrogen peroxide. That's why I say we use it for the dogs.
No time
to treat wounds.
Right. No time to do the story, but go to page 17, the middle spread actually of the Ghanaian Times newspaper. COVID-19 outbreak in schools. Don't panic, parents told. Find out what exactly is there. I think now we can do myjoyonline.com. So if we can have MyJoy Online.
Yeah.
Right. Mama.
All right, here we go. Children, pregnant women, and people with underlying health conditions will not be vaccinated. So Professor Alex Dodo on Newsfile on Saturday, and something asked the question, how will the distribution be done in terms of who gets the vaccination first? What's been highlighted, these are the categories of persons who will not immediately be getting the vaccine should we finally get it in Ghana. Joe Jackson tested positive for COVID-19. He shared his personal story, talked about his weight, and I think his diabetes.
The underlying health issues, diabetic, overweight.
Yeah. But he also says that for now he's fine. We wish him well in the recovery. That's what I was just referring to a while ago. U.S. medical doctor discourages the use of hydrogen peroxide as treatment for COVID-19. There are other stories on myjoyonline.com. We'll leave you to explore. We've got to take a breather and come back with sports. So this is where we have to end the review segment of our show. Stay with us on After Sport. We'll be touching base, after schools recorded cases. As a parent who has your child in school, you will be worried. We want to check out what the situation is today on the ground and also interact with some parents. And of course, we'll be talking about the election petition 2020. Stay with us.
Hello, good morning and welcome to AM Sports with me, Ray Kuampofo. And it was a very, very thrilling weekend of sport in action from the local scene straight to the English Premier League. And we're starting right here from Ghana, where Asante Kotoko have taken over the top of the Ghana Premier League after a 2-0 away win over Karela United on Sunday. Now, goals from Kwame Poku and Imoro Ibrahim held the Porcupine Warriors to 3 points in the Matchday 3 fixture at Inyase.
United and Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Obviously, the players on the bench would also want to be part of a history-making process. Don't forget, the fans of Kotoko believe that this is the day that, that was very close. Shot from a distance, and that was good enough. Strong challenge from Nuruddin. And the committed men up front is the chase down the left. This is Opoku. Keita waits in the 18-yard box. Shot is fired from behind from Imoro. And again, the second bite of the cherry. And Kotoko are 1 goal up. 37 minutes gone in the first half. Karela 0, Kotoko 1. Kotoko come forward now to the near side and is brought down nicely and cleared with no problems at all from Osei Kweku. There we see with a shot. It hit the crossbar. Cross by Beko. Chance for a goal. That was latched on fair and square by Franklin Osei. Karela will still keep the pressure on them. Jemfi lays on a through pass. Opoku is onside. Tackle comes in late, and Opoku gets goal number 2.
Guys, it was sumptuous.
And referee Mohammed Misbah will end proceedings here at the camp park in Enyinase. The home invisibility has been broken.
The invisibility indeed has been broken. After 5 years, Kerala United have lost at home, and that means that Asante Kotoko go to the top of the Ghana Premier League for the first time ever this season. But unfortunately, Hearts of Oak did not have smiles on their face and needed a late equalizer from Kojo Obin Jr. as they drew 1-1 with Legon Cities in the Ghana Premier League at the Accra Sports Stadium on Sunday night. The match was played without fans following a ban on Hearts for breaching coronavirus safety protocols in their derby against the Great Olympics.
Oh, lovely skill from Obin Jr. Goes into the box. Razak with a touch. He goes down. Penalty. Penalty for Hearts of Oak.
To me, Patrick Razak was always going down after that first touch here. On his way down before him. But that seemed to be the referee now looking. There you see it again. Patrick Razak takes the touch here. Right on the hand. It's a penalty. It's a penalty right there. Great call by the referee.
Against Selom Komlahonu. Manaf misses. My goodness!
I mean, his run up to the ball for me wasn't right. Yeah, I've seen players score with that kind of run up, but for a team that is not scoring goals, for a team that is so short in confidence, you want to be emphatic. You want to run up to the ball, pick your spots, and hit it hard.
What a good way to get out of that danger for Cities. Lovely pass in search for Atukwe. Atukwe skips past Sule. Jordan Atukwe! Fatal! Shot is blocked. Ball goes into the net, but it won't count.
Here, long throw in. Lagos is trying to deal with the header out. Not the best of headers. That's a little bit heavy, but is that follow through from the shot he tried to hit? His leg right into the face of the Lagos City's defender there. You see it better from this angle. Take a look at his leg right there. It's what the referee spots on Brahima. With a very good ball into the box. The first header was won there by Mensah. Obin Jr. showed great strength. Did well to get the ball past the defender and didn't panic when the goalkeeper seemed to be stepping off his line. Yeah, the first header won was good. Lovely control with the chest. Good second touch, something of it.
Speaking of games having to be played behind closed doors, Mediama was also banned from hosting fans at the Akum Park by the Ghana FA for flouting the association's COVID-19 matchday protocols. Now, Communications Director of the Ghana Football Association, Henry Sanchez-Chum, has explained why the football governing body banned Hearts of Oak and Mediama from playing matches at home with supporters. He spoke to my colleague Mubarak Haruna.
First of all, spectators must not be allowed to enter the stadium without nose mask. Secondly, there should be Veronica buckets at the entry of every stadium where supporters or spectators will be given the chance to wash their hands and then clean it with tissue before they enter the stadium. And then once they are in the stands, it is a responsibility of the clubs to ensure that they adhere to the social distancing. What we have noticed is that some of the clubs are flouting this particular directive. So at the gates, yes, these fans enter with nose mask. When they enter the stadium, they have the Veronica buckets to wash their hands. But what has become a challenge is the social distancing protocol that has been flouted upon. In the Mediama instance, as at Tuesday and Wednesday, the General Secretary of the FA was on phone with the club president and the PR, reminding them to make sure that the safety and security protocols is duly adhered to. The morning of the game, I was with the General Secretary when he made another call to the operations manager and the public relations officer, again reminding them. So we did not get here out of the blue. We put things in place. The clubs were made aware. We held meetings with them. They have the document, and the document is even discussed at pretty much 5, 6, 7 hours to the game. So that is what I can say as far as that issue is concerned.
Well, it's been some 5 weeks since school reopened. For most schools, this is exactly the 4th week. Last week, there were stories of some schools recording COVID-19 cases. In fact, before Friday, there were reports, and the Ghana Health Service had also confirmed some cases in about 3 regions. But later on in the week last week, there were lots of cases that we heard, different stories, some parents sharing their stories about how a school, for instance, didn't want a parent to communicate to other parents that her son had tested positive for COVID-19. This morning, we want to do some checks on the ground, but we also want to engage other parents here on the AM show to find out if they're still confident in putting their children out there. If there's anything bothering you on this matter, we would love to hear from you. So do get into the conversation as well. But first of all, let me start with my 2 parents who are joining me via Zoom. On this, I've got Uswa and Lucky on Zoom. Let me say good morning. Good morning to you, ladies. Thank you so much for joining me.
Good morning. Good morning, Mama V.
Good morning, and I hope that you're well. Well, the smile alone tells me that you're great. So, yeah.
Hope you're good too.
Yes, I am. Let me start with Awusa. How many children do you have, and is it primary school, JHS, or senior high?
I have 3. They are all in the primary school, 6, 3, and 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, good. And Lucky?
I have 3 too. 1 in JHS, 2 in the primary school.
Okay. Well, I also have 2. They're all in primary school, so grade 2 and 4. I've been paying attention to other stories that, other parents have shared. First of all, there was the Ghana Health Service disclosing that some schools had recorded cases. And then we heard about the situation in Akosombo. But later on, there was a press release from the VRA saying that, things were under control, effectively. But I heard a story of one parent who said her son had tested positive and the school didn't want her to tell other parents. And it sounded like the other children who even shared a class with this boy had not also even taken a test. So as parents, when you hear these things, first of all, maybe let me also pass it on. What have you heard, Owuswa?
From my children's school, I haven't had any child who has tested positive yet. And I must say that I am part of the PTA executive, so any such thing, I would hear it and then we can take action from there. But I haven't had any such thing from their school.
Okay. And Lucky?
Yes, same here, Mama V. I haven't had any such incident in the school. For me, one notable thing I noticed in the school is the different pathways for parents and then the children. So they do not allow parents to come into the schools. You cannot come into the classrooms. You are restricted to just dropping the kid off in front, and then they go through the protocols and then to the class. We haven't heard anything, of the sort yet.
Okay, great. But do you get worried with the news that some other schools have recorded cases, Owuswa?
It's worrying, I must say. It is very worrying that you send your children out knowing others have contracted it, and same could happen for where they're going. What gives me comfort, though, is that the school my children attend is a very small school. The population is small. So you go to the school and they are widely spaced out. They are not a lot. So we are counting on that together with the protocols. And we've had that conversation with them that you don't take off the mask until or unless you're eating or drinking, and it goes back on. So with these things that we are doing, we are praying as well that God will look after them.
Yeah. Okay. And Lucky, do you regret, or maybe regret is rather strong, do you think twice about still keeping your children in school?
Interestingly, when you hear some of these things, you get apprehensive as a parent. But we have comfort. Some of us are firm believers.
and you know that Christ is the power and wisdom. In as much as you do the protocols, you pray as well. And so we are hoping that God will take care of our kids. And most of the time, we educate them on the do's and don'ts. And so even my the last one who is 6, I tell him, okay, your friend wants your eraser. What should you do? He tells me, hey, mommy, I don't want to get corona and die. And so I'll tell him to have his own. And so conscientizing the kids to get them to appreciate the times we are in is very important. You will not be with them all the time, though sometimes they lose their guard. The sister will come and tell me, hey, when I went to his class, he had taken off his mask because class had ended and they were leaving to come home, you know. And I said, Melvin, you do not do that. You don't take your mask off. What happens when you take your mask off? Oh, mommy, I'm sorry, I was sweating. I said, yes, but whatever it is, don't take off your mask, you know. So some of these things, we need to educate them, conscientize them to come to the point to realize that, look, we are not in normal times. Unless you want something bad to happen to you. So they are aware of all that is happening around. I always say that God takes care of his own.
Absolutely. But also, there are some who are saying that, listen, if the children can have classes online, for instance, why do we let them be out there at this time when we're recording and there's just a fresh update even today, Monday? Cases are still going up.
With the online, for me, if the school says today that we are going to go online, I would be happy. I would be happy. But considering that the children stayed at home from March up until January, they were also tired of staying at home. So they really wanted to go. So yes, they have gone a bit. If we decide to come back home, I will be happy. If not, and they still want to go to school, or the school hasn't closed down and we do have to go, we will continue talking to them, taking them so that the school bus is less crowded, and ensuring that the school is following the protocols. We will do that. So we are happy with online, but if it hasn't come and we have to go to school, we'll still follow the protocols.
Okay, but as PTA executive, do you have other parents share some concerns? Are there parents who are still not allowing their children to go to school because of the situation that we find ourselves in?
For my children's school, we decided as PTA that the younger ones who would definitely require close contact with the teachers, stay at home. So they are not coming. But apart from that, from class 1 all the way up, I haven't had any parent who hasn't brought their children yet. No.
Okay.
They all come. But as I said, it's a small school, so we don't have the issues that the bigger schools are having. Yeah.
Okay, so that's a class size of what?
The largest class is 17.
Oh, okay.
The oldest class is 7 in number. Yeah. So we're good.
Well, that's pretty good. So Lucky, let me ask you, are you thinking, why aren't we doing this online, even though I'm confident in the school that my child is in?
For me, if the school decides to go online, I'm game. I realized also that because they had been home for quite a bit, they'd also missed fellowship with their fellow, mates. And so at least we've gone in for close to a month now. We are entering the 2nd month. So if we have to lock down and then we're, school from home, why not? They've had that fellowship. At least they've seen their friends. They've seen everybody's doing well. And coming back to the virtual school won't be a problem. Anyways, we are always prepared because of what happened the last time. So now we have all the infrastructure we need to go online and work virtual. So yes.
Okay.
It will be welcome, yeah.
Okay, let me ask you the same question. Do you know of parents who are keeping their children at home?
I do not know, but I have heard that some parents initially when school reopened didn't allow their kids to go to school. They started going to school after 2 weeks of reopening just because of their anxiety. But as of now, I know their children are in school. But initially when school reopened on the first day, the first few weeks, no. they didn't allow their kids to go to school.
Okay. Is a school where your children are they practicing the shift system? There are some schools that are running twice a week because there is a shift system. Is that same at your end?
No, it's not a shift system at my end. They do the full week, and then they go from 8 to 1.
Okay. Well,
lunch. And because of the protocols, there's no, PE for physical contact. There's no club activity for physical contact. And then they have their assemblies in the classroom. So they have a class size of 22, and then they have the assembly in the classroom. You don't have students coming out to have that, that general assembly. No.
Okay. Well, let me get some tips from you as parents. Also, what do you pack for your children?
Basically fruits, and then they take their lunch. Snack, the school does snacks. They have sobolo, they have pineapple juice, they have ginger juice. So those ones is what I do. So basically in their bag to take is just fruits, and then they have their lunch, and then they take what the school offers for snack.
I tend to give extra mask 2, and sometimes they use all 2. So like 3 in how many hours? How many do your children use within the time that they stay in school?
Okay, we agreed that every child must have 1 mask on and then 2 extra in the bag. For the youngest one, who is 6, if you give her 3, she will use all 3. But the grown-ups, they come back with 1 or 2, meaning that they used the one that they were wearing.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Also, we agreed at the meeting we had before school opened that we all use the blue surgical ones so that children are not tempted to trade masks. Yours is nicer than mine, so let's change. So we don't have that. We are all supposed to use the blue ones.
Oh, that's a great tip. Lucky, what's your story? What do you pack for your children? How many masks would they use typically in a day?
Yeah, so typically in the day, they have 2 masks. They have 1 on, then they have an extra one. On some days, they come back with all of them used, and they tell me we sneezed in the mask. So our teachers ask us to change. And and so yes, with a sanitizer, we also have sanitizing wipes that they have in their bags. And then, the school has, one good thing the school has done is to have hand wash basins installed on all the floors of the school. And so when you get in, it's very visible. You have 2 on each floor. And I know that's quite an investment. And for the safety of our kids, I really appreciate that. And they tell me once you go through the temperature checks and then you enter, you compulsorily have to wash your hands before you enter the class. Yes, and the class is spaced out. The social distancing is also being observed because I ask them all these questions. They come back with the feedback. Children, they say it as it is.
Yeah. Okay, just one last thing. As parents, are we familiar with the protocols? So in case you pick up your child, God forbid, there is a temperature, do you know what do you have to do, Owusu, as PTA executives? Have you gone through the protocols?
Well, for our school, we identify the hospital close by, just in case a child comes to school and starts running temperature. There is a doctor at hand that we can call to advise what to do. However, for the buses that picks the children, there's a temperature gun in it, and we gave strict instructions that if we are picking up a child and they're running temperature, the child doesn't come to school at all. And we have spoken to all parents that we are counting on their responsibility to keep other children well. So if your child has a temperature, has a cough, has anything, the child stays at home, and then we'll ensure work gets to the child.
Okay.
So that's how we are.
All right. Lucky, as a parent, are you familiar with the guidelines?
Yes, maybe. I know that when a child records a high temperature, we reach out to our doctor immediately, and then he advises on the next steps to take. And if they have to take samples for testing, we have to isolate until the results come back. And so, yeah, we are aware of what to do in case the child has temperature.
Okay. Well, we continue to pray for our young ones. Well, thank you for sharing. after talking to you, I think I've gained a lot more confidence because I know that I'm keeping them, but I'm thinking again, especially when you hear other people share some other stories. So thank you for boosting my confidence as a parent. Also, lucky.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Two parents joining us for some real conversation as, you know, our children are out there in school. Nanayao Jima is joining us with the reports on the ground. Nanayao is in a school and he will tell us what the situation is. Nanayao, I'm sure you've been there for a while now. Share your observations with us in terms of adherence to the COVID protocols.
So this is Riverside Academy in Fumesa here in Kumasi, and in regards to the adherence to the COVID-19 protocols, it's been very impressive here at the Riverside Academy. So at the main gate of the school, the temperature of students and whoever wish to enter, even though they are trying to prevent most of the parents from entering the campus, their temperature is checked before you enter the school premises. And immediately you enter the school, as you can see, there's this hand washing point that has been made for the students. This is something that, according to the headmaster, they made here in the school. It was made by them. So it's these Kofor gallons which they've recycled, and it's a hand washing point for everybody who entered this premises. So including parents, the pupils as well, or the students as well. You go through this process before you get permission to enter the main classroom, which is the learning area. So as you can see, every student or anyone who enter this premises is in a nose mask, and it's compulsory. Every parent is supposed to come or bring the child with nose mask. So every student is mandatorily supposed to come with a nose mask, wearing it, and also another nose mask in the bag of this pupil. So if you come here, COVID-19 protocols are well adhered to, and the classrooms are well spaced out. I tried speaking to the school manager, and according to the school manager, every classroom should have at least 30 pupils in the class, and this was done even before COVID-19 came about in this country. So it's something that the school authority has emphasized and enforced on here at the Riverside Academy. No classroom has more than 30 pupils in them. It's something that was done to ensure that these students get the adequate space and are able to learn, you know, how the parents and the teachers want them to go about it. So it's very impressive here at the Riverside Academy. I tried to speak to the proprietor of the school and find out why they did this and how they've been able to ensure that these young ones adhere to the protocols of COVID-19. I don't know if the cameraman can show the ones coming in. You can see almost everybody is in a nose mask. Just
great. Nanayao, when you're done with the school administrator, we'd also love to hear from the young learners as well. Let's try and find out their challenges with keeping the mask on, whether they're tempted to remove it sometimes.
Exactly, so we'll do that. So let's do with the school administrator, who is the proprietor of the school. Sir, good morning and welcome to join us. Please, your name.
My name is David Ebusabe.
So school has been in session for some few weeks. How has it been with compliance with the COVID-19 protocols?
So far at Riverside Academy, before the reopening, we put in place measures to basically adhere to the protocols. And as you can see, we have applied appropriate technology using local materials. We didn't need to wait for the government to bring in Veronica buckets or sanitizers. We set the ball in motion even well before school reopened. So as you can see, everybody's adhering to the protocols.
So with regards to social distancing in the classrooms, how are you able to adhere to ensure that?
Well, we have a policy of not overpopulating a classroom. and we have a school policy of 30 students or pupils in a class. So basically, we are ensuring that the tables are separated. We have very big, class sizes in terms of space, well ventilated. So we don't really have a problem with spacing in our classrooms.
No, one other thing that I've observed here is the difficulty in ensuring social distancing on the school compound. When the students come out, they tend to play with each other. They try to, familiarize with each other, as we know children would love to do. Yeah. How are you trying to, ensure that there's social distance on the compound as well?
Well, it's all about staffing problems. When we reopened, because people stayed at home, our teachers, private school teachers, they were not paid for all this period. So most of them have looked for other jobs. So the first few weeks of reopening, we were really hard up with staffing issues. We have devised a system where we have teachers on duty. So when children are out of the classroom, we have class teachers or teachers who are on duty to ensure that they are not, gathered at a place, together, so that we can, adhere to the protocols.
But it's still difficult.
It is still difficult. Children being who they are, they want to run around and play. So we are doing our best to ensure that this doesn't happen. And it is something we really have to work on very hard. It is an issue.
So let me try to speak to some of the kids who just came in. I'm seeing some wearing the mask very properly. You just try to wear it well when you saw me coming to you. Why did you draw the nose mask down?
Because it is very big.
It is what?
It is big. It can't fit me. Oh.
Okay, so she says it doesn't fit perfectly, even though she would love to wear it well. The nose mask doesn't fit perfectly. I think mommy will buy another one for you. Have you told her?
Yes. Yes. She said she'll buy another one for me.
Okay. So this one wants to speak to me. Come, draw closer. How are you?
I'm fine.
How difficult is it to wear your nose mask?
Well, it's not that difficult. Yeah.
So are you able to keep it on for the whole of today?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so every day you come in a different nose mask?
Yeah.
How many do you have in your bag? You have any?
Well, I have a spare one in my bag. Only one.
Okay. So do well to wear it because it's very necessary. You have a sanitizer?
Yeah. Yeah, closer to my bag.
So how well do you know COVID-19? Do you know anything about COVID-19?
Yeah, COVID-19 is a dangerous virus. It has been killing kids, even babies. Even some have COVID-19 around 8 years. Yeah, that's how I know COVID.
Okay, so it sounds like she's been listening to the news a lot and she knows well about COVID-19. Come, let's talk. How are you?
I'm fine.
Your name?
Bill Amadu Makubunsu.
Okay, so are you able to wear the nose mask for the day, throughout the day?
Please, yes.
Are you sure you don't draw it down to your chin?
Yes.
You do? Sometimes?
Yes, when I'm eating.
Okay, no, aside eating, when you're in a classroom or when you're on the compound, it's break time, do you draw it down?
No.
Are you sure?
Please, yes.
Okay, thank you very much. So she's able to wear it throughout the day. This one is little. Come. I just saw her adjusting her nose mask. How are you?
I'm fine.
What's your name?
My name is Pepetra. I'm having a Sewa Japan.
Okay, so why was your nose mask down? No, I'm asking why did you draw it down? You know you're not supposed to wear it that way.
Yes.
So it has to cover your nose and your mouth. So do it. I want to see you do it. Covering your nose and your mouth. All right. Nice. Thank you. So I've been speaking to some of these young ones, and I think most of them know about COVID-19. Hello. How are you? I just saw this one coming. What's your name?
My name is called Kezia.
Okay. How how well are you able to wear your cute little nose mask throughout the day?
Because of COVID-19.
Because of?
COVID-19.
Okay. You know about COVID-19?
Yes, sir.
What is it?
It's a sickness.
It's a sickness. And you know that if you are able to wear your nose mask and also wash your hands regularly, you not contract COVID-19?
Yes.
Who taught you about COVID-19?
So I always see it in the news.
You see it in the news? Okay. So you do well to adhere to the protocols, well?
Okay. Yes, sir.
All right. So these are some of the young ones we've been able to speak to here at Riverside Academy. I don't know if there's more time than there are a lot of young ones coming here, and they all want to speak to us.
Reaching, and then I also have to take a trip somewhere else. So I'll come back to you, Nana Yaljima. I'll return to you shortly. Let's go to Natalia Kwanzaa and also Rafiq Salam, who is in Wa. Good morning to you both. You're joining me via Zoom. First of all, Ina, where are you and what have you been observing?
Okay, Mamavi, so I'm at Danwell Methodist here at Efie Kuma. This is a public school, so literally the teachers have refused to speak to me on record. But for the interview I have had with them off record, they talk about a lot of challenges. The fact that they have not still received the PPE, and they are still falling on the ones that the junior high school students use. And even with that, they only have tissue. So you see an empty bucket. They don't have the required PPEs being given to the school. And they also talk about the fact that even with the students, especially the little ones, during break time, they will take the face masks off and then put it on the floor and stamp on it. They really don't care. One of them I spoke to also told me that they've started a shift system in the school. So the lower primary come in the morning, and then in the afternoon, the upper primary students also come.
Okay. All right. Ina, we'll leave it. But have children also, the learners, have they been sharing their challenges with the mask?
Yes, Mama V. So they told me that sometimes they find it difficult to breathe in it. And some of them also complain that when they put it around their ear, they feel some pain. That's why most of them would remove it. When I was coming to the school, I realized that most of the students I met on the way were not in their nose mask. Some of them would have it around their hands, playing with it. Some of them, you meet them, you ask them, and they'll say, oh, it is in my pocket. So these are some of the observations I did make.
Okay.
I want our viewers to see something here. These are some of the students, and you can see that literally they are not in nose masks. They are working on campus, all right, but these students are not in their nose mask because of the difficulty they claim they have when they put the nose mask on.
Okay, well, Ina, so they have it, but they say they have a challenge in putting it on. Is that it?
That is it.
Well, what exactly is the challenge here?
Yeah, so I was saying that some of them who have it, and I saw them playing with it, says when they fix it, they find it difficult breathing. Some of them say they sometimes have pains around their ears. But the teachers are also saying that government has not provided the PPEs till now. So they are only doing with the leftovers from the junior high school when they came to school last year.
Wow. Do you see parents dropping their children in school?
Sure, Mama V. A couple of them have dropped them. For most of the students I have seen coming in here, they have come on their own, but a few parents have come in with their wards.
And did you notice children also coming in with parents who are not in mask?
Yes, Mama V. Some parents had masks for their wards, but as parents, they were not in their masks. For whatever reason, they cannot explain why they would give their wards a mask and they would not be in masks themselves.
All right, Ina. This is worrying, really, but we have to leave it here. Natalia Kwanzaa reporting from a school in the Western region. Let's cross over and speak to Rafiq Salam. Rafiq is in Wa. Good morning, Rafiq. You've been listening to our colleagues. What can you report from where you are? What have you been observing?
I have moved to close to about 5 that in the one municipality. The safety health protocols are being complied with by the private schools than the public schools. Because I've moved to places like Ansala, I've moved to Tender Care, which are private schools, and they are respecting the safety health protocols. But when you move to the public schools, you have to go into the door.
Are school authorities in these public schools explaining why the situation is like that?
Here the public schools, none of them would like to speak to us because they are telling us that GS has told them that no teachers to speak to any media man concerning COVID or any other thing about the school. So if you want to speak to them, you have to seek permission from the municipal directorate, and then they also seek another permission from the regional directorate and then from the director general. And so here it's a little bit of hell of time if you want to speak to teachers about their schools and even not COVID. But when some of them secretly will tell you that yes, they are grappling with the situation because they are not having the nose mask. Some few sanitizers were dropping from the GS, and up to now they haven't gotten the rest of the consignment that they are supposed to get. But the private schools, we moved to a place like Tender Care International School. It's well managed by the masters. They have this thermometer guns. They have Veronica buckets. Everything put in place, and things are orderly in these private schools than the public schools here.
Rafiq Salam, thank you very much for those updates. We will take you to Facebook in a bit, but let me return to Nanaya Ojima real quick. Nanaya Ojima is in a school in Kumasi, engaging some students. Nanaya, let's come for another round of conversation with these young learners, the very final one before we wrap up with you.
So new ones just came in and they just finished washing their hands here. So I would want to speak to them. I have this one here, and his nose mask was actually at the chin area, and now he just put it up. Why do you put the nose mask at your chin area?
Because I can't breathe well.
You can't breathe well?
That's when I wear it all the time.
But you know you're supposed to wear it to wherever you go?
Yes.
So how are you adjusting to, wear this?
Because it's the COVID time, so I have to wear it by force.
It is?
The COVID time, so I have to wear it by force.
So you know it's compulsory? Yes. Do you bring a nose mask to school?
Yes.
How many? No.
3.
3 nose masks?
Yes.
I can see this dirty.
Yes, it was from my brother. And my mother washed it.
Okay, so some parents are actually washing the disposable nose mask for their what? So, do you have a sanitizer?
Yes, it's in my bag.
It's in your bag?
Yes.
Okay, so do change this nose mask because it's dirty. How are you?
I'm fine.
You're wearing the nose mask properly, but it's big.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so are you able to wear it throughout the day?
Yes. Not every time, but I still wear it.
So why are you not able to adhere to this protocol fully?
Because when I wear it, I can't breathe well.
Okay, so the new students coming in are telling me that they are unable to breathe properly when they are in the nose mask. Let me speak to these grown-ups. These are not so young as the ones we've already spoken to. How are you?
I'm great.
Your name is?
My name is Ramsel Kusimensa.
Okay, so let's talk about the protocols. Are you able to adhere to them?
Oh, I'm able to adhere to them very well. Yeah, but sometimes I hyperventilate. Yeah, that question arose sometimes. So what my parents did was that they got me a face shield so that when I'm hyperventilating, I'll be able to drop down the mask and put on the face shield so that at least I'll be able to breathe in properly and catch my breath.
Okay, so you are doing both the nose mask and the face shield?
Yeah, my face shield is in my bag right now.
Okay. All right. So what about you? Your name?
My name is Felix Techiedefo.
Let's talk about the protocols. Are you able to fully comply?
Yeah, I'm able to fully comply. Only when I'm eating or drinking water, that's when I put the nose mask down. When I'm done, then I pull it up.
Let's talk about your other mates or your colleagues. Are they able to do this?
Some of them are not really able to do it. Some of them pull it down while you're in class. When you tell them to put it back on, they don't adhere to it. So we have been trying to allow teachers to punish them, those who do not wear their nose masks.
So looking at the school environment, is it helping in adhering to the protocol?
Yeah, it's really helping because every student that walks in or any parent that walks in to bring their ward inside, everybody is fully complying to the nose masks.
What do you think about the school environment? Is it helping?
Oh, the school environment is helping a lot, really. See, this nationwide pandemic put us all on a lockdown. So when we came back to school, it was so amazing that everything was normal, especially with the introduction of the Veronica buckets. That was actually really surprising to see that. But it was really amazing that they were able to build this using normal materials that they can find in their kitchens and so on. Yeah. So yeah, this environment is actually great for students and also abiding with the protocols very well.
So let's talk about your colleagues. From what he's saying and what I've observed, some of them are unable to wear the nose mask throughout the day. What will you want to tell them? What have you been telling them?
Well, see, some of these students, they are sometimes asthmatic patients, and some of them have several breathing problems. So when they wear the mask, it's like they are being constricted. But yeah, when I see such things like that, I will say that they should put on their masks, because right now they have a sickness on them right now, which is hurting them. They might get another sickness, which will hurt them even more.
Thank you very much. So this is Riverside Academy, and we've seen how the school is trying to help these students adhere to the COVID-19 protocols, and I can say so far it's been impressive.
Nanaya Ajima, thank you very much. Some few things have also been revealed through the conversations that you've had with these young, learners. We know some parents are washing the disposable mask and giving it to their children to take it back to school. That's a situation that we have to get into because that's certainly not right. But Nanaya Ajima reporting from Kumasi, and thank God the young ones at least know why they've been asked to wear the nose mask. They won't always get it right, but we can only keep telling them about it. Okay, let's go to Facebook and check out what some other parents have been sharing. We're asking the concerns about COVID-19 as parents have been dropping their children to school, sending them off to school. It's been about 4 or 5 weeks now. And here are the responses. My only question is, are the children of all these education leaders and politicians okay, I'm not sure I get this. If we can have normal, real conversations instead of always bringing the politicians in, that will help. Tamara says, I don't have kids, but on Friday evening, if you saw a bunch of school kids trying on each other's face mask, okay, so I guess that's what you observed. One was like, hey, your mask, pink, is nice, so let me wear some. I don't blame them. When we were kids, we used to do after you when someone bought pure water. Now, what we can do when we see this is to correct them. So you can't just observe, and I really hope that you did some little education when you observe that. Joseph Wabing says, my children are not in school, okay? I have hired one teacher who teaches them at home. I'm not going to allow them to go to school to be infected by COVID-19. All right, we hear you, Joseph. Samson says, non-adherence to protocols from the kindergarten to lower primary, not even a single so-called protocol is observed after break at 9. Worse, kids are still packed in classrooms. My fear, however, is the child-to-parent transmission. Ajua Doris says, I think the president should let the little ones stay home. Ali Muhammad says, we're scared and wish the government will close schools for now. Collins says, I'm still struggling to understand why KG, nursery and lower primary are in school Upper primary onwards are matured people, so I guess they can be in school. Rukaya also has similar concerns with the KG and lower primary in school and even nursery. Momoni is also talking about another issue, but I would like to skip that and go to other people who are sharing on this. Daniel says, I'm always scared when I drop my 4-year-old girl at school because I always pick her up with her nose mask either in her bag or she has someone else's. Oh, I suggest electronic learning much more than what we're doing now. This COVID-19 thing is really serious, folks. A friend of mine died out of it just a few days ago, so without missing words, I'm always scared. Daniel, you're not alone. We're always scared as well. I'm always also scared as a parent. Now, let's get the statistics as published by the Ghana Health Service on the back of all the conversations that we've had, so that you know where we're going, right? So our active cases now still above 6,000 is 6,411. We have 112 severe cases, 32 critical, 464 dead. And of course, we have a lot of recoveries as well, but as the active cases and the new cases, we're still hitting above 700, getting close to 800. This can't continue. You have to take the adherence to the protocols very seriously. We will get into conversations with the courts. The court sits today, but I have a very special birthday dedication to Louise Yeboah Tano of Huawei Technologies. It's from Michael Kutin and your family. Messages, we love you to the max and God bless you. Happy, 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 happy birthday to you, Louise. Enjoy your day. Have a blast. And whatever you do, it's your day. We ask God to bless you richly. Stay with us. We're talking about the Supreme Court and the election 2020 petition. Up next.